Hello there, people of the internet. I'm out here. I have myself a new rifle. Oh boy, people love it whenever I get myself a new rifle. We're on a public gun range. You guys are going to hear gunfire in the background. Nothing I can do about that. You'll just have to get over it. This right here is a last-ditch Arisaka. I've been wanting one of these for the collection for quite a long period of time. And whenever I'd gotten this one, I won it at an auction, and it was an estate auction, and the guys didn't know what it was or what they had, so I got it at a pretty gosh darn good deal. They didn't even know what it was chambered in. So typically things like that, go looking, go inspecting, you might come across something that piques your interest, and you'll be like, hey, that's not what you're saying it is, and I'm going to take that because you're asking very small amounts of money for it. So the last ditch rifle, this was like the real simplistic version of the Arisaka that the Japanese made at the end of the war, because they were like, oh god, here come the Americans, we need guns and we need them right now. This particular one is chambered in 7.7 Jap. Originally I was told by the original sellers that it was a 6.5 Jap rifle. No, it was not. So one of the big things about Japanese rifles is you got to pay attention to whether or not they're training rifles or not. And to my knowledge, I don't think that there's any last-ditch training rifles out there. I think that as far as last-ditch rifles go, the Japanese were like, all right, we need real guns. Screw the trainers. We need real guns. Don't waste the money and materials and metal and whatnot on the training rifles. Get us real guns. So if you got a last-ditch gun, odds are it's a real gun, and I think they've all been chambered in 7.7 Jap. I could be wrong on that, but I think they were all chambered for 7.7 Jap. I've seen them with a couple of different kinds of rear sights. This particular one does have an aperture. I definitely prefer like the V-notch leaf sight that I've got on my Type 38 Arisaka, but I get what I get, and I'm not going to pull a fit. A couple of things the Japanese did to make these rifles dramatically simpler to produce than their original Type 99 Arisaka, which I should have brought mine out here for comparison purposes. Maybe I'll lay these side by side and do a comparison video. But a couple of things that they did different. First, we lost our protective sight wings. They were like, hey, don't even bother with that. The machine work on the entire rifle is extremely crude. This right here does have quite a bit of rust coming out of like the barrel and whatnot. I should go through, take this apart, give it a good oiling, and get rid of all the rust that we have on this thing. We are missing our dust cover, but it was still cut for a dust cover. I'm expecting that they probably would have gotten rid of that if the time had come. We got a dramatically simplified rear sight. I think it's got a 200-yard zero. We actually have a multi-piece stock to make stock production easier on this Arisaka, along with every other Arisaka. The stock back here was a two-piece stock as well. So if you see a crack right there, that's not actually a crack, that's how these rifles were made. We got the wooden butt plate back here, which was a lot easier to produce than a metal butt plate, and it's just kind of nailed in. We got very crude welding work and whatnot all over this rifle. If you look on the side of the rifle and along, like say right here, like this is one of those rifles where they're like, we don't care how it looks as long as it shoots. Get us guns, get them right now. So that's kind of what the Japanese did. This particular one, the mum has been ground off. So this right here was one that was brought into the country commercially, and it was not one of the ones that was like a GI bring back. If it's a GI bring back, odds are the mum is intact, or if it was commercially bought through surplus. Here in the United States, the Japanese ground off the mums of their rifles because of an honor thing. They're like, these are no longer property of the emperor, so we got to get rid of the emperor's stamp on it. So that's what they did. Alright, so as far as this rifle goes, for the amount of money that I spent on it, I am quite pleased. I got this for just shy of like 300 bucks or so. I think it was like the upper 200s whenever I got this. So not a whole lot of money for this rifle. I have not yet shot it. The ammunition that I'm using, man, they're just going ham over there. The ammunition that I'm using, 7.7 Jap, obviously. This right here is hand-loaded by yours truly, and I actually got these undercharged by about 10%, so it's not going to be a full-powered 7.5 or 7.7 Jap round. These do take a 3.12 diameter bullet, just like your Mosin and your Enfield and your etc., etc. So although it is a 7.7 round, other countries using that same bullet diameter, they call it a 7.62. The connotation for your bullet size kind of depends on your country and your time period and where it comes from, etc., etc. The reason why I undercharge these is recoil and less components, and the fact that my brass doesn't stretch as much, so I get more life out of my brass. it would be nice to be able to get more life out of this 7.7 jab, just because 7.7 jab is not really something that you come across every day. So now I'm going to open this bad boy up. Wow, even the follower has been like very poorly machined. Very cool. I have no idea what the grain weight of these bullets are. I think they're a 174 grain projectile, but I could be wrong on that. I got 2 rounds of 7.7 jab because this stuff is hard to find and expensive, and I've got a grand total of like 10 rounds complete. I really should look into getting myself some more 7.7 jab brass, but whenever I do that, it will be down the road. Let's go ahead and send a round or 2 at our steel silhouette down there. I'm just going to aim center mass at the steel, and we're going to see where we hit with these rounds. Typically, whenever I have undercharged rounds, they hit a little bit low, but this right here I think is a 200 yard zero, so maybe we'll hit right at point of impact on the target, or right at point of aim. Well, I don't think we hit our target. I could be wrong. Maybe we went through the wood that the target is currently up. Let me try sending another round downrange. I'm going to go ahead and use this little PVC pipe that I got here as like a support. We'll see how well that works. So I do think that this is still hitting a little bit high, because first time I aimed at center, second time I aimed at the bottom, and that's whenever we hit our steel. So we are still hitting a little bit high, but that was still a pretty gosh darn good impact on target. You know what? I feel like I got to hit the steel more than once with a rifle coming out here. Let me go set that steel back up. We'll see if we can't hit it at least one more time. All right, so we are hitting approximately 6 inches high from what I can tell. So that is about on par with where you would expect a 200 yard zero sight to hit at the 40-ish yards that we're currently at. So let me do exactly what I just did, and I'm going to take aim downrange, pull the trigger. I'm going to use this as a little rest, and we'll see if we hit our target again. All right, yeah, okay, I got that point of aim pretty much where it needs to be. I'm not seeing any signs of cracking or overpressure, which is to be expected because this is under pressured ammunition. Nothing like that, no signs of headspace issues. This right here is a little bit, the brass is a little on the ripply side, which tells me that there might be a little bit of pitting inside of our chamber, but we're not having any extraction issues or anything like that. Our steel silhouette is still kind of where it's in a place that it can be shot. So I'm going to try hitting that again. This time I'll try offhanding it. Okay, I think that missed. That's fine. That's fine. It's hard for me to see that leaned over steel silhouette through the aperture sight with this rifle, especially with my eyes and whatnot. But I did hit it a couple of times. I know generally where it is going to hit, although I did waste 2 rounds of 7.7 jab, which really leads me being like, no. So, okay, that is, I guess that's the conclusion of this video. This right here is definitely a very nice rifle. I like how lightweight it is. I really like the Japanese wood that they put on their rifles. I'm not sure what wood it is that they actually use for their rifles, but I do like it because it is super lightweight. And this right here being a nice short, I use the term short in relative to like the Type 38 or something like that. Definitely not as short as like an AR carbine that we would have nowadays, or an AR pistol or something like that. For a full powered rifle, this right here is relatively short. The 7.7 jab that I'm using, quite light recoiling. It's 174 grain bullets. My bet probably traveling 2,500-ish feet per second. The rifle cycle smooth. It's comfortable to have. Well worth the amount of money that I spent. All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and cut out the video here because I don't really have anything else to add here. Thanks for watching, folks. Appreciate your time. Like, subscribe, share. Description below has a link to all sorts of stuff. Go check it out. You guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day. I'll see you all the next episode. Been a little while since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. Poor man's Garen. It's a shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.